Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host. This dysfunctional world.
I'm your boy Sid, aka Mr. Let's Talk.
So let's talk.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about pastors coming up with new incentive ideas to bring the youth into the church.
That's right. So, one, let me say, to me, this is effing genius. You know what I'm talking about? I know a lot of folks gonna feel some kind of way, but listen, there's a pastor named Pastor Jamal Bryant, and I wish I can remember the name of his church. We'll tag it in there or whatever, right? But his name is Pastor Jamal Bryant.
What state are we in?
Ooh, I'm not even sure about that, so
Okay,
I don't want to lie.
okay.
I want to say Philly, but I'm not sure. But once again, we'll get all the information correct. But he wants to start growing. He wants to start a cannabis business at the church, and one of the main purposes for starting this business is to draw in the young black youth. His exact words was, "I want young men that smell like weed." Exact words. So, what do y'all think about that? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
He wants young men that smell like. Okay, when you say start a cannabis business, you talking about just growing or a dispensary too?
So from what he was saying was growing because he's going to be teaching farming techniques.
Okay.
You know, other crops and plants and,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
So it's a good idea, one of those good idea, bad idea things. So I say good idea, bad idea for the simple fact, I believe it'll draw a lot of people in, talking about marijuana, because a lot of youth smokes marijuana.
Right.
Then you're going to teach them how to grow it so they could potentially take this course or take this class or take this new taught trade and grow their own marijuana. Cool. However, I don't think that's going to necessarily keep people in the faith of God after they learn how this technique of growing marijuana. So, good
Now,
idea, bad idea.
I definitely agree with you on that right there. And he spoke about that a little bit. So his thing is, if he can use marijuana to get the kids in, or young men in there, he figured that he understands it's a number game, so he's just gonna try to get as many as he can get.
Okay.
I think it was 10% that he said, actually. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, if we could retain 10% of the people that come in, or the young men that come in, and try to help those. He understands that he can't keep everybody, and like you said, a lot of these people may just be coming in just to learn the trade of growing weed.
Right.
But he just figured if he can just get them through the door, you know what I'm saying, just so that he can retain some of them. You know what I'm saying? And teach them this valuable skill. Like his thing is, okay, I can keep them off the street for a day. Maybe that was the day that a drive-by would have been committed. Or
I mean, that is a good way to look at it. He will potentially keep them out of harm's way,
right,
for that potential moment or time.
Yeah.
But I don't think church religion is what. I'm not gonna say it's not what these children need, because a lot of them don't got it to begin with. So it might be what they need to get back on the straight and narrow, or get their life back in order. But I know a lot of them have steered so far away from the church.
Absolutely.
That the whole ideology of church just doesn't appeal to the younger group anymore.
Right, absolutely. And you're right with that. But I think that's why this is his approach. You know what I'm saying? I think this guy is a progressive guy. I don't know much about him. I'm definitely going to do my Googles, do my research, you know, like thoroughly. But he seems like a progressive guy, you know, who's willing to go.
That's forward thinking.
Right, that's definitely, because you won't see another pastor trying this, because we don't know if it's going to work or not. It's very bold. It could backfire and blow up in his face.
It could.
He can lose his congregation over this. Who knows? But it's very progressive, and he's trying to reach out to the kids on something that he know they like and enjoy, some obsessed, some addicted, whatever the case may be. Right. So he's trying to use that to appeal to that demographic.
Now, my only question is, when you say kids, how young are we talking?
Well, okay, so, and I misspoke when I said kids, because he said young men.
Okay.
That was the term he used, was young men.
Okay.
But, you know, I just say kids because I'm a certain age. Yeah,
okay.
You know, but it's actually young men that he's targeting.
So 18 and up?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Like I said, he was saying he want young men that smell like weed. Those almost the exact quote.
That could be anywhere from 16 though.
But true, but he said young men, so I don't know what his age frame, but you know, for us a young man, you know, late teens, early 20s, you know what I'm saying, like that range. But I think it's risky.
In what way?
Like you said earlier, some of these kids may be coming just to learn this technique.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, and then take it back and apply it to a certain trade. You know what I'm saying?
That's just like if I had a course and I said I'll teach kids how to cook up crack, they'll show up. Now what they do with it won't be positive.
Right. Exactly. And that's why I said I think it's risky, but the fact that he plans to teach them other farming techniques too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be good too. But once again, I just hope that they don't. You know what I'm saying? Because it can be a business. It can be a business.
I guess I can see this working better if you started younger, but like in a teenage, grown type scenario, I don't see it working to the best of this plan. For the simple fact, like a lot of these are backsliders. A lot of these dudes are not gonna continue to come to church after they learn this trade. They're just gonna go do this trade
somewhere
if they can afford it anyway.
Right.
Because growing weed is an affordable thing. It's not, you can grow outdoor weed, but it won't be that gas that they like to smoke. The stuff they like to smoke requires money and different chemicals to make it produce that way.
Right, or the additives.
Right. It's not, you can't just put
Like
a seed in the ground.
chemicals.
Right, you can't just put a seed in the ground and water it and get what they call gas in today's time.
No.
So the only way that this works is if they stay in the program period, because the fund, like I said, this is expensive.
And I doubt if he, take them through that kind of process. He may not even know. I'm sure he probably just gonna have somebody who know about farming, vegetable, fruits, and shit like that, and just have
and teaching cloning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they ain't gonna break it down. And knowing them, they probably gonna try to do it some slick way to where they learning more about other crops than that. You know what I'm saying? And he just using that once again just to pull them in. But I think that may be a problem too, because some of these kids, some of these young people may be coming there solely to learn about this.
That's it.
And now you teaching them about apples, bananas, and stuff, and
they don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't care how you clone a banana to an apple.
Right.
And create a new fruit.
Right. Or, splicing, like you said, splicing techniques or whatever it might be. They just want to learn about one thing, the thing you advertise to them about. So that may be a problem.
That will definitely be a problem.
You're going to have some kids who's willing to learn and be open-minded about other stuff. But some of them are going to be like, hey, hold up. You said
you were going to teach us
about
how to do this.
And now we're learning about everything else. We learned about everything but this. Or you touch on it in the first few days and then that's it.
Right.
You're going to lose a lot of them. So that's why I think it's risky. I think it's...
Because like I said, at the end of the day, that's an expensive business.
It's a very expensive... But like I said, he has a large church because he said they have one of the churches with one of the most land in the country.
I understand that, but...
They got some money.
Right.
They apparently have some money.
But that's still an expensive process.
Absolutely. That's an expensive experiment.
So that's like me telling you I can teach you how to become an accountant, but unless you go get the degree, you can't use this bit of knowledge.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's all he's doing to them, right? That's what it seemed like.
Well,
I'm teaching you how to grow marijuana, but unless you have the funds to do what I'm teaching you, you can't do what I'm doing.
But see, a lot of them may have access to the funds. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And they may... Because it don't take much. He's going to teach them, and they're going to scale it down to their level and start growing in their bedroom in pots. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. Or the kids the young men who's going to be going may already be a part of a certain lifestyle or culture.
True.
And they just going to perfect it now.
True.
So they go to Buddy, you know what I'm saying? And now they sitting there like, oh, I should have got this type of fertilizer, this type of water, this type of lighting system to perfect their craft.
Right.
It could be that case too. That's why I say this. It's going to be risky.
It is going to be risky.
And then also bringing in certain type of kids around your congregation. Let's be honest. We got to be honest here, y'all. A lot of your congregation ain't going to like these kids, these young men coming in smelling like that gas. And I'm talking about when you got 15, 20 young men smelling like gas like that loud, even if they come in through the bottom, your whole church going to be lit up. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? But the spirit going to be in there. It's going to be so loud. Just think about that, y'all, and that could potentially make people mad and hinder stuff, right?
That could hinder the message.
What if they having rehearsals that night? What if the senior choir rehearsal? It's so much stuff, logistics of it. You know what I'm saying? And like he said earlier, it's an expensive experiment because if it go bad, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars down the tube. But luckily, they are going to be growing, and I don't know if they're going to be selling it, but growing other crops. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's expensive to get into. But that's what he wanted to do. It's a video where he's explaining the whole concept of it, the whole concept of what he wanted to do and why. Because the lady, they were laughing at him like they thought he was joking, and he let them laugh. And he was like, no, I'm serious. And then they started listening. They were like, huh, like for real? And he was like, yeah, la la la. Started breaking it down. Right. I said, okay.
Would you attend that church? Leave it in the comments.
Drop a comment, y'all. Drop that.
I'm your host, Dysfunctional's World.
I'm your boy Sid, aka Mr. Let's Talk. We out of time till the next time.
Screaming, let's talk. Albanese, the gummies that eat like a worm. Peace.
Oh.